Hi everyone, my name is Moorhead. I'm here with Millennial Marketing, which is a blog that's geared towards college students and new professionals that are going out into the workforce. Today I'm here with Patrick Moorhead, CEO and founder of More Insights and Strategy, also known as my dad. Glad to have you here today.
It's great to be here and I appreciate you having me on.
So we're going to start off with a question, just kind of asking you about your company and what do you do at More Insights and Strategy.
Yeah, this is great. This is my favorite topic, which is me and my company. That's a joke. No, so what I do is I run a small business and it's about 15 to 20 people depending on the time of the year. And our customers are high-tech companies. And what we do is help them with their product and service roadmaps, their positioning, their marketing. We do customized research for them. Our customers range on the consumer side, even with Hewlett HP Inc., Microsoft, who else? Do you know a company called Samsung? Of course you do. Dell EMC, we have about 80 customers out there. So
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, so at Millennial Marketing, our main customer base is kind of young adults, people who are about to graduate college, people who are about to enter the workforce. So what would you say really helped you early on in your career?
I think looking back, and I've been working almost 30 years now, is the idea of mentorship. And mentorship, essentially finding somebody that you work with, or even outside of work, who's a lot more experienced to kind of help you with the ropes. Because you know there's three different ways you can really succeed and move up the chain at work, and one of them obviously is to do great work. The other one is to you have to be a team player, but also networking, particularly with somebody who knows a lot more than you do, and it is a lot more powerful inside of the company. And essentially what you're doing here is you're getting on their map, right? And good managers are always looking for people that can move up with them, because they know if they don't develop their people, that they're not going to get promoted.
Great. So how much do you think networking has to play in success early on in your career?
I mean, networking is huge. I talked about the three variables that I think are important, and it's one of the big three. What it does is, and I put networking and mentorship kind of in the same bucket, but networking amongst your peers is important because they get to know you not just on a business basis, but on a personal basis. Networking outside the company is as important or more important as networking inside of your company. And I like to call that kind of 360-degree career management, right? It's not just about the people you work with in the company. It's also networking and having a very strong external profile. It's funny, one of the biggest things I learned in my career is that sometimes to accomplish things inside of the company that you wanted to get done, you create something outside of the company to help make decisions.
Great. So as college students, a lot of us are kind of worried that we don't know exactly what we want to do. Did you know exactly what you wanted to do whenever you began your career?
Well, let me see. When I was 8 years old, I wanted to be a farmer. And then 16, I wanted to be a lawyer. And then 19, I had this idea I was going to get into finance, and did some internships and realized I was a much better product marketeer than I was a financier. So, and then moving through that, you never really quite know, right? Anybody who well, that sounds bad. Most people don't really have any idea what exactly they want to do. And the other thing we have to factor in is, as humans, we change, right? Our personalities change, our life goals change, and our life status change. So I would say be focused, but also be open that your grand plan may be changing. People are attracted to different things in jobs, right? either really attracted to, and it's important to you, that the people you work with, and then there's the content you work with, right? It's kind of like what you're doing, right? Is it numbers? Is it creativity? Is it doing things in meetings? And then there are people who would do anything with anybody as long as they love the company that they work with. What I highly recommend that I should have done when I was younger is take a personality test to at least, and again, this is, I think of the joke of, you take a test in high school and, you qualify to be the janitor, right? It's just not one of these things, but what these tests do is they at least get you into a certain direction of where you get your energy from, right? Is it about numbers equating? Is it about creativity? Is it about working outside of the office? Maybe in nature, right? That's probably the one thing I wish I would have done that would have directed me.
Yeah. So what would you say to a college student who says, hey, I am interested in my major, but I don't know exactly what I want to do yet. So what are the next steps for me?
Yeah, so I think what I would do is, so they pick their major, so it's at least directionally you're headed, is make that first job a place that you can get multiple experiences in, okay? Experience as much as you can, sign up for everything you possibly can, and then you'll get a better sense of what you like. But a word of caution. Just because you might work in a team where you can't stand the people you're working with, doesn't mean that if you go to another company, you might like doing the same thing, working for the same type of company, but you would have different people. And one of the reasons that I like tech is because it changes every 6 months. And the joke in tech says, if you don't like where you are, just wait around another 6 months. There will be some reorg or something, right? Until it gets better.
Yeah, so going off that, what do you think the biggest thing that you learned in your career has been?
That is a big question. So if I look back 30 years, is finding mentors, multiple mentors, makes a big difference, because they can give you the ropes, right? Give you all the secrets of how to work and how to get ahead. And notice I put multiple mentors. The challenge that I ran into is some of the mentors that I had ended up getting really wealthy and not having to work. So, I'd be 30 years old and they're retired and my mentor went away and they went to play golf or something. Or I had another one of my mentors leave tech and open a chain of fondue restaurants in California. So having multiple mentors count. And hard work matters, right? Hard work matters. Getting promoted and being successful, there is some element of luck and timing, particularly when it comes to something like an IPO or something like that. But I believe that you really do make your own luck, right? You make your own opportunities. And the other thing is, you get punched in the face, you make a big mistake, it's okay. You got to get right up and get back on the horse and start moving again. And I think what I would end with is your external profile and positioning is as important as your internal profile. Work LinkedIn. LinkedIn is strong. Have a personal blog. And that doesn't mean personally talk about personal stuff, but have your own blog where you have content out there to express. If you're not able to express how smart you are inside of the company or how good you think you are, well, express it outside. Put your money where your mouth is. If you're not getting building on the inside of your company, take it outside and see who might read it, might be impressed by it. Who knows? Somebody might ask you for an interview based on what you've done outside.
Yeah, so going off that, how important do you think it is to market yourself as a young professional?
I mean, marketing is everything. I mean, with the tools today and the social media sites that we have, whether it's blogs, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, you are the product, right? And you need to market yourself out there. And if you're not the person who's gunning for that space and that position that you want, is certainly marketing themselves. And by the way, be very careful, right? Right now, I mean, check out your Facebook and your Instagram and your Twitter feeds and ask yourself, is this the type of person that I want to hire? What was funny and comical when you're 16 to 20 might not be that funny and could get you not hired, fired based upon your behavior out there. So cleanse all your social media feeds. Better yet, don't behave like that and then have anybody or your friends put it up on social media. It's key, because we're all companies have the tools now to pretty much find anything that's public about you. Sounds creepy, but it's just reality.
Yeah, so on the blog, a lot of the times we talk about how early on in your career, expect to fail and fail often. How do you think that in your career you've recovered from those failures?
By the way, I love that, okay, because the best time to fail is when it's on somebody else's nickel, okay, when it's not your company, because it's somebody else paying for it to make the mistakes. And it's funny, that really jogged something in my head, which was about things that I wish I would have done better. It's funny, I still don't take criticism well about my work, and it's just a personal thing. I have a huge ego, but when you fail big, and then tell everybody about it. See, your boss and your boss's boss and your boss's boss's boss, and this is actually what I tell people, I'm not going to fire you for making a mistake. Well, there are some that cross the line that they need to go, but 99% of mistakes and failures, as long as I know somebody has learned from it and they've put a process or something in place where it won't happen again, I'm good for that. Now, let me talk out of the other side of my mouth, right? You're not going to make mistakes. You won't. Okay, the surest way not to make mistakes is to take no risks. The surest way not to do well at work or in your career is not to take risks. So you should expect to fail.
Yeah.
There is no process you can put in place if you even take a minor risk when you're not going to fail. But early on, make the big doozy mistakes up front, and nobody's going to remember them in 5 years, by the way. Okay, that's the funny part. What the worst thing in career and in business is nobody knows who you are. That's the worst part. So swing for the fences, and some of the biggest home run kings in baseball have the highest strikeout averages. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's and that's the way it is in business too.
Awesome. How important do you think it is to own up to your mistakes?
I think it's really important to own up to your mistakes, particularly when you have a team or somebody around you who may be negatively impacted by your mistakes.
Yeah.
Right? And I like to say, even in my business today, you have to be more right than you are wrong. But if you're not making mistakes, you're not taking any risks. But owning up to those mistakes is key, particularly in a team environment. And by the way, probably anybody who's watching this, teams were kind of important when I was early in business, but being an autocrat was actually highly valued. But today, working well on teams and being a good team leader is super important. And to keep kind of team hegemony and happiness, if you've messed something up that is impacting the rest of the team, own up to it. Give them enough information so they know that you know how it happened and how you're going to try to make sure that it never happens again.
Oh, great. Just one last question. How long did it take you to figure out what you truly wanted to do in your career?
So I would say it took probably 20 years to figure out well, it's funny. There's, I think in terms of threes, right? So you have to find something that you really like to do, that you're good at, that you can actually make a living at. right? So
Yeah.
I would say it took me 30 years to figure that out. I finally realized that I'm a much better leader than I am a team member. I'm better off running the show, not making all of the calls, right? Because you have to empower your team, but making most of those calls. Now, I will say it wasn't like, oh, I should have done this 10 years ago. There's no possible way I could have done this. I didn't have the skills 10 years in my career to actually do what I do today, nor did I have the credibility to do that as well. So if you're worried about that you may not know what you want to do in your first year, fret not. It might take you another 20. So
Great. Thank you so much for letting me interview you. Everyone, you can check us out on Instagram at OSU Marketing Team 1. Thank you for watching. If you would like to see more, you can like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.